Hi guys, Dan here from Dan's Tech. In today's video we're going to be having a look at the Silent Loop 280mm liquid cooling unit from Be Quiet. This is an AIO, it does come with two 140mm fans. Are quite nice fans these, nice premium looking fans. And then of course yes, you do also get the copper radiator and also the tubing, the pump and the cold plate. Now one thing Be Quiet have done with their actual radiator, they've made the full thing copper. You can see that it does have like an orange tinge if you kind of tilt it towards you. Many liquid cooling units, AIOs anyway, a lot of them are not made of copper fully, it's just usually the base plate. So this cooler should perform pretty damn well, and it'll be interesting to see if Be Quiet are using that copper within the actual radiator for better performance, or they are using it for better silence. And I suppose that's really the main reason they exist as a company. Combined with their very good fans, I suppose a lot like Noctua, just making very good, solid, premium, quiet products. So without further ado, let's get into it. Inside the box you get quite a few parts. These include the radiator, pump and cold plate combo, two 140mm Pure Wings 2 fans, mounting accessories and an instruction manual. As for the accessories, you get a syringe of thermal compound and a PWM fan splitter for the two 140mm fans. The instruction manual contains many illustrations of the product and does look pretty straightforward to install the unit overall. I get onto the installation of the unit a little later on. The booklet is in many languages and you can, in my opinion, install the cooler without doing any reading. Onto the radiator, this unit is a 280mm rad, however the total dimensions are 319 by 144 by 30mm in depth. The radiator is fully made of copper, which should give some very good results versus other liquid coolers that only have the cold plates made of copper. The rad has been sprayed with black spray paint, however when you look at the unit at an angle you can see it does show off its dark orange colour. Now as for the base, this has been nickel plated and therefore is rather reflective and will allow you to use very high-end liquid metal compounds if you wish. As for the tubing, the length is 39cm and includes metal wiring to prevent against tube bending. The included pump is a 3-pin pump and is rated at a speed of 2200 RPM, although mine does tend to top out at 1140 RPM. Although I will say the speed of the water doesn't really matter in a loop of this size. Now onto the side of the unit you found a refill port. Be Quiet do recommend topping up the unit by 100ml of fluid every 2 years. And finally onto the included fans, these are two of Be Quiet's own 140mm PWM Silent Wings 2 fans. These have a rotation range of 1600 RPM and rely on rifle bearings. Overall some nice premium fans from Be Quiet. The cooler supports all modern AMD and Intel CPU sockets. This includes both AMD AM4 and also Intel LGA1151, in addition to the LGA 2011 V3 Enthusiast platform. Now I don't believe this cooler supports AM4 out of the box, however mounting kits are available from Be Quiet's website. I believe you can also request these for free. Now many manufacturers are doing this currently, which overall is very nice to see. The warranty of this unit is a mere 3 years. I would have liked to see this being a tad longer, considering Corsair and NZXT's high-end liquid cooling units are guaranteed for 5 and 6 years respectively. Moving on to the installation of the Silent Loop 280, it was fairly easy to install, which was more than nice to see. First you want to screw the two fans into the radiator. This is as easy as picking the 8 screws out of one of these screw bags and screwing them in. The radiator has protection in place so that you can't screw these into the actual radiator itself, unlike many other units I've seen from other manufacturers. Next you want to remove your old heatsink and fit the included mounting bracket together around the pump and also the cold plate. With this done you can thread these springs and the washers through the appropriate screws and put these through the pump bracket. With this complete, use the included bolts to secure this all into place. Next up you want to apply some thermal compound to the CPU and to remove the film from the cold plate. Next, place the included back plate under your board and by hand start to tighten the 4 screws. The back plate does have adhesive on the board side, however I found it's too weak and really doesn't assist in installing the pump unit. Once you have these somewhat secure you can move on to a screwdriver to finish these off, making sure to use a cross pattern to fix it all together securely. As for mounting the radiator, you want to push the radiator up to the grills on your case and screw this into place with the smaller radiator screws and you're all set. As I have a test bench, I'll be setting mine down onto the desk, making sure the fans can spin freely. The last couple of steps would be to plug the pump into your motherboard and to also connect the both fans to the board, making use of the included fan splitter cable as mentioned earlier. This way you'll only use up one fan header on your board. Also be sure to set the voltage of the pump to full speed or 12 volts in the BIOS so it does not get damaged, since the pump does not feature a PWM connector like the fans. So now I've got the installation out of the way, we can speak performance. I ran my standard Adobe Premiere Pro video render test on the i7-4790K of all cores clocked to 4.4 GHz of the auto voltage. The cooler scored a very good temperature of 61.2 degrees, and as for a comparison at 4 GHz, the cooler scored 48.5 degrees. Our results have been normalised to 20 degrees C room temperature as always. Now, as liquid coolers do take some time to warm up and therefore giving them a slight advantage in short benchmarks, I did perform this 15-minute benchmark 3 times at both frequencies. The results have been added to the chart. Not much of a difference in my testing, but something to consider. As this cooler is called the Silent Loop, we're going to be moving on to the noise results. I compared this cooler to 2 flagship air coolers that are near the top of this performance chart at the higher frequency of 4.4 GHz while at load. Take a listen and come to a conclusion yourself regarding the good old noise levels. So peeps, so yeah, that is my review of the 280mm liquid cooling unit from Be Quiet. Overall, very, very solid, and it's quite surprising actually at how good this unit is. Now I did include them tests right near the end just to show you really how it performs once the actual radiator has warmed up. There's a few videos on YouTube recently that have really shown that short benchmarks are not the way to go for liquid cooling units, as they do take quite a long time to warm up versus heat sinks can get pretty toasty very quickly just because of the whole water versus copper thing is cooling. There we are. So hope you've enjoyed. Very good unit, would recommend it. It is, as I've said, it is a little bit more expensive than the units say from Corsair and other companies, but it is a fully copper radiator, so naturally it does cost more since it is more expensive. I suppose that's kind of why we don't see copper heat sinks these days, just because it's just in general a very expensive material to make things out of. So thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe. As always, links for this cooler on Amazon, and then also you will find a link to Be Quiet's website. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.